Hi there, good afternoon. This is Sidi Bou Said. Today is August 26th. It is currently 88 degrees Fahrenheit. That is 31 Celsius. I am staying at that hotel for 2 nights. I came over from Tunis, about 20 kilometers or 12 miles away by taxi. It cost 50 dinar, about $15, and here you go. The lovely streets of Sidi Bou Said. Right here is the restaurant where I had lunch earlier today, just after arriving from Tunis. So there are 3 problems with my hotel there. The first, which I'm not sure how much of an issue it is that it is up on the hill here. So you can see the sea out there.
Why are we going forward?
And so I was looking on Google, and the walk down to the harbor is 2 kilometers. Takes about 20 minutes, and as you can see, it is super steep. Now, I need to check my phone and make sure this is actually the right way before I go down the steep hill and have to come back up. It might be over there and around, because it was like this roundabout route. So 1 second. English? No. Francais. You from France? France? Yeah, I see.
Bye bye.
Bye bye. So I'm going to go back to my room and change sandals because it is super slippery. And I think that my more sturdy Tiva sandals will handle it better. Classic Mediterranean food here: olives, tomatoes, onions, chicken. And so I think that this is definitely going to be a lot better. The Tivas. So, as I was saying, there are 3 problems with my hotel there, even though it is a really cool hotel, as you saw. Very colorful, very nicely done, really cozy, amazing courtyard there. However, the first possible problem we'll see in the course of this video is that hello again. No French. So you from Paris or Francais? Paris or from Tunisia? Tunisian? Wait. Oh, dinar. No. Bye bye. So the room there is up on the hill, and so that means it is this long walk to get down to the water, the harbor. You can see it down there. The question is, do you want to be down there, or is it going to be sort of less happening and it's actually better to be up there? So we'll find that out in the course of this video. Maybe I will prefer to stay up on the hill. The other problems are that, number 1, really bad internet. It basically doesn't work. And so I have T-Mobile for my cell phone service, and I have internet access with that. I can use my phone as a hotspot to get Wi-Fi, but I am limited to 5 gigabytes per month which isn't a lot when you're a YouTuber, and I used up my 5 gigabytes uploading a video elsewhere, and so that is not going to be any use for uploading videos, is to use my phone. So the internet problem is a pretty big problem as a digital nomad. The third is that there is a mosque right next to the hotel. The call to prayer was blaring around the time that I arrived, and it was quite loud. It goes, of course, 5 times a day. And so that is going to be a problem, especially at 5 o'clock this morning, when I get woken up by the call to prayer and then hope that I can go back to sleep. So I am there for 2 nights, and I will decide in the next day whether or not to stay there longer or move somewhere else. But especially the Wi-Fi problem is going to be a major issue. Okay, well, this is an interesting walk. I was expecting it to be more like walking through the lanes and the blue and white buildings of the town, but here we are, like, in the woods. So the blue and white of Sidi Bou Said was started only in the 1920s. The history of the town goes back many centuries, but that was a recent 20th century phenomenon. I can't help but wonder, did the person that introduced that, it was one guy, had he been to the Greek islands? Because it looks a lot like a Greek islands village. Okay, so I'm getting the impression that probably I want to be up in the village anyways and not down here. It's a very different scene down here. But regardless, I will still be considering looking for another hotel with better Wi-Fi and away from the mosque. Okay, so here we are down by the harbor, and indeed it does look like I would rather be up there on the hill. No idea what else there is to see around here. I'm hoping that I can do a loop, walk around this way, and then get back up over on the other side, just for a different walk. So it looks like apartments or hotel rooms or whatever right there. Nice location, because here you have a pretty sweet beach. Looking across the Bay of Tunis, or the Gulf of Tunis, and I guess out there must be like the cities of Sousse, maybe, because there's like a lot of buildings, so a good-sized city across there. And then right around the point here is La Marsa, which has been recommended. I guess it's another beach town. But I think that I would rather be in the lanes of the town rather than right down here. I'm not going to be hanging out at the beach much anyways. That water does look very nice. Calm, clear, no seaweed. It is about like 5 p.m. so probably come back tomorrow and take a swim. Also, one of the things that I'm most excited to see are the ancient ruins of Carthage. We drove past them in the taxi. They're only like a couple miles away from the town of Sidi Bou Said. Ancient Roman ruins and the original town of this region going back into BC. So I was totally wrong about Sousse. That city is much farther away and other side of that land there, that peninsula. It looks like that is basically Tunis out there, and then another town, Marissa, straight across there. And so you can in fact get to Sidi Bou Said going this way around this hill. And so I'm definitely going to stay in the town there and not come down here. So tomorrow I will check out some other options. One tip for figuring out Wi-Fi is to go to the hotel in person, ask to connect to their Wi-Fi, and then check using the website fast.com, and then you can see the actual Wi-Fi speeds and know before you get there that it's going to work. And then this is a nice bay and beach. Water is not looking especially clear, but basically no seaweed, so that's good. As I showed on Jerba Island, it was really bad there, just piles and piles of it. And so there's a road over here that goes back up to the town. But as you can see, it is kind of a neglected area here. Unfinished buildings. And then this hill with no buildings along it. And just kind of a bit scruffy in general around here. So definitely better to stay in the town and then a fairly short walk down to the beaches. A bit of a trek, actually, getting up this mountain. Definitely a little different from what I expected. It's almost a little strange that you have this cool town right next to the coast, but not on the coast. I assumed that it would be kind of sprawling, you know, down to the water, but the town is basically just up on the hill. Maybe that was for defensive purposes. That would make sense historically, to avoid pirate attacks or something, but yeah, it's a little bit of a shame to be in a town right by the coast and yet have this big walk to get down to the beach. So here you have just a white building, and here the blue and white seems to be sort of the beginning of the town. I am very close. So I thought that I would tell a travel story really quick here. Little kitty there. While I'm walking back into town, kind of a scary one from just last night. Not like super freaky, but a little bit. So I went out kind of late, about like 9:30 or so, to go get dinner, and went for a walk along the main boulevard there in Tunis. And so I walk quite a long ways and then turn around and come back, and I'm walking past all these restaurants, and right then this guy comes up to me and starts talking to me. And so he speaks pretty good English. He's just kind of asking random questions, obviously trying to get a conversation going. I could tell the sort of scammer vibes from him right away, but you know, no harm in just talking to somebody, especially right there. There was lots of people around, there were restaurants, it wasn't like a risky situation, and I figured I would just, you know, get him to buzz off fairly soon, which I did, but he kept walking along with me and was kind of, you know, trying to keep the conversation going. And then I saw a restaurant that I wanted to stop at, and so I just, you know, stopped there and said, "Have a nice day." And so he wandered off. So then I'm having dinner and waiting for my food. The guy comes back 10 minutes later or so, and I just noticed him as he's about to walk past my table, and so I just kind of like, you know, did like this, like sort of a hello. And then he stops. And he asks me if he can sit down. He kind of points at the chair next to me, and I say no. And then he walks away, and as he walks away, I hear him mutter, and it sounded like MFer. Wasn't 100% certain, but that's what it sounded like. but he disappears. And so I finish my dinner, and then I'm wondering, am I gonna see this guy for a third time on the way back, walking to my hotel? And sure enough, I'd walked like 5 minutes down the avenue there, and then I noticed him like, if I'm walking like this, somehow he was like right up there. He'd walked back the other way, and then somehow had doubled back. I don't know if he was maybe kind of stalking me or what, but I saw him there. The street was over here, and so I stopped and kind of went around like this to cross the street, get to the other side. And as I looked back, then I saw him look at me and recognize me. And so I was then wondering if he was going to try to cross the street and follow me, in which case I would have been yelling, you know, get the hell away from me, make a scene. But I didn't want to have to take it to that, you know, point of getting other people's attention if I didn't need to. And fortunately, he didn't cross the street. I kept looking back, never saw him, got to my hotel, safe and sound, so no huge deal, but just another example to watch your back, be careful who you're talking to, and be prepared to handle a situation like that as needed. You know, don't let him sit down at your table, obviously. That's just a way for him to like get in with you more, and then obviously he had something in mind as far as asking me for money or gonna try to take me somewhere or who knows what, but everything worked out fortunately. Okay, so we're back in Sidi Bou Said. So today is a Friday, the Muslim holy day. I'm not sure how that is affecting the crowds, but it is pretty crowded, so maybe that's a factor. We are pretty close to Tunis, so maybe this is a popular evening place for, I was going to say Tunisians, but I meant to say people from Tunis. There must be another word for it because Tunisia is the country. Anyways, Tunisites coming out here for the evening. So this is right where the taxi dropped me off and where the pedestrian zone begins. And where it gets very nice. Salam, no thank you. And here we are, back at the beginning. My hotel is right up there. Up here, the restaurant where I ate for lunch. Let's continue down this way and go straight instead of down the hill. I guess there must be more of the town. And so here is the hill walk on the right. So continue this way See what we see. No thanks. No thank you. Lots of birds. No thank you, man. It is not going to be free to let one of those things onto your shoulder. They are pretty. Okay, so is that kind of the end of it? It's quite small actually, unless there's something more, but crowds stop. I guess a neighborhood's going up this way, but it's kind of just one street there, and for not very far, so it's really somewhere you can just visit in an evening. Okay, let's get a view of the Gulf of Tunis, and maybe you can see La Marsa from up here. So La Marsa is a 45-minute walk that way. I'm going to think about maybe going there day after tomorrow, getting a hotel there for the next few nights. Maybe it will be a little bit bigger and more happening and better Wi-Fi. Okay, that is a nice view. All right, time to head back to my room and take a little break.